Pitching for Atlanta, Pete Smith. Leading off for Cincinnati, second baseman, Bill Doran.
Pain, inning, blitz, speech mode off.
Play ball!
Welcome to Fulton County Stadium. For tonight's game between Cincinnati and Atlanta. Cincinnati has lost 6 straight, and 8 of their last 10. Kip Gross gets the start for Cincinnati, making his first start of the year. Opposed by Pete Smith for Atlanta. He's made 8 starts on the year, and is 2-3, with an earned run average of .664. His first start against Cincinnati. It's 84 degrees. Wind speed 5 miles per hour. And we have an 80% chance of rain. The second baseman, Doran, steps in. Smith is set. Smith with the first pitch. Down and tight. Ball 1. The 1-0 offering from Smith. Doran swings. And misses. Strike 1. Smith with the 1-1. Doran swings. And misses. Strike 2. The 1-2 offering from Smith. Doran swings. Smashed towards first. Leaping catch by Bell. Doran line to first, 1 out. Left fielder, Billy Hatcher. Hitting second, it's Hatcher. The first delivery to Hatcher. He swings. Foul tip. Smith with the 0-1. Fastball. High and outside. Ball 1. One count. Fastball. Hatcher hits a liner through the middle. Base hit. Gant tosses it back in. Hatcher lined a single up the middle. Shortstop, Barry Larkin. In the third spot, it's Larkin. Runner on first. The first pitch to Larkin. Missed in tight. Ball 1. Smith is ready. 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch. Curve. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. 1-1 count. Fastball. High and outside. Ball 2. Smith with the 2-1. Fastball. Larkin swings. It's a pop-up. Hugging the third base line. Out of play. Smith fires to first. Hatcher reaches for the base. Hatcher just gets back. Smith with the 2-2. Ball 3. Smith toes the rubber. 3-2 from Smith. Larkin swings. And misses. Strikeout. Larkin struck out, 2 out. Right fielder, Paul O'Neill. Batting fourth, here's O'Neill. .251 average on the season. With 11 home runs and 46 runs batted in. 188 against Atlanta. Man on first. Smith is ready. Smith with the first pitch. O'Neill cuts. And misses. Strike one. Smith with the 0-1. Fastball. Ball 1. The count is even, 1-1. The pitch to O'Neill. Swings and misses. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch from Smith. Change. O'Neill rips. Fouled back. Smith is ready. 1-2 count. Fastball. O'Neill swings. And misses. Smith gets the punch out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 1/2 inning. Cincinnati 0, Atlanta coming to bat. O'Neill struck out, 3 out. Pitching for Cincinnati, Kip Gross. Leading off for Atlanta, right fielder, Otis Nixon. Nixon will lead off the inning. Sanders is on deck. Infield in at the corners. Gross with the first pitch. Fastball. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Gross gets the sign. 0-1 count. Gross kicks and throws. Fastball. Missed up and in. Ball 1. The 1-1 offering from Gross. Nixon swings. Foul tip. Off the catcher's mask. 1-2 count. High and outside. Ball 2. Gross is set. Gross with the 2-2. Nixon hits a deep fly toward left center. Winningham drifting back. He camps under it and makes the catch for out number 1. Nixon fly to deep left center, 1 out. Left fielder, Deion Sanders. Sanders now up at the plate. The first pitch from Gross. Fastball. Hot. Ball 1. 1-0 count. Changeup. Shallow fly ball to left center. Winningham takes a couple steps to his right. He's under it. And he makes the grab to retire Sanders. Sanders fly to shallow left center, 2 out. Third baseman, Terry Pendleton. Pendleton at the plate. Leads the league with a .395 average. With 10 home runs and 44 runs batted in. .429 against Cincinnati. Gross with the first pitch. Cutter. Pendleton swings. And comes up empty. Strike 1. Gross with the 0-1. Fastball. Inside on the black. Strike 2. Gross has the sign. Gross with the 0-2. Low and in. Ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pendleton swings. Fouled back. Gross with the 1-2. Fastball. Pendleton swings. Foul tip. 1-2 count. Gross kicks and delivers. Pendleton swings. Popped in the air. Behind first. Morris giving chase. Foul ball. 1-2 from Gross. Pendleton swings. He lines a base hit up the middle. Winningham fires it back in. Pendleton continues to rake Cincinnati pitching. Pendleton lined a single up the middle. Center fielder, Ron Gant. The center fielder, Gant, steps in. Runner on first. Gross with the first pitch. Curve. Gant rips. It's a slow roller down the third base line. Sabo goes to his right. Gathers it in. He fires to first. Out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 1 complete. Cincinnati 0, Atlanta 0. Gant grounded to third, 3 out. First baseman, Hal Morris. Morris will lead off the inning. The first pitch to Morris. At the shoulders and wide. Ball 1. 1-0 count. Fastball. Ball inside. Ball 2. Smith with the 2-0. Changeup. Morris checks his swing. It's over for a strike. Strike 1. Smith has the sign. 2-1 count. Here's the delivery. Outside corner. Strike 2. 2-2 count. Low and inside. Ball 3. 3-2 count. Fastball. Slow grounder along the first base line. Foul. Smith is set. 3-2 from Smith. Morris swings. Here's a shallow fly ball to left center. Sanders on his horse. And catches it for the out. Morris fly to shallow left center, 1 out. Third baseman, Chris Sabo. Sabo now at the plate. Hitting .276 on the year. 9 home runs and 35 RBIs on the season. .367 against Atlanta with a home run and 5 RBIs. The first delivery to Sabo. Just catches the inside corner. Strike 1. Smith gets the sign from Olsen. 0-1 count. Fastball. Cut on and missed. Swung right through that one. Strike 2. Smith with the 0-2. Inside. Ball 1. Smith with the 1-2. In tight. Ball 2. The count is even, 2-2. Breaking ball. Sabo bloops it to short. Hit right at Belliard. And he puts it away. Sabo line to short, 2 out. Center fielder, Herm, Winningham. Winningham steps in against Smith. Smith with the first pitch. Strike 1 called. The 0-1 offering from Smith. Low and away. Ball 1. 1-1 count. The pitch from Smith. Fastball. Winningham swings. High pop up. To the left of home plate. Foul territory. Out of play. Smith gets the sign from Olsen. 1-2 from Smith. Off the plate inside. Ball 2. 2-2 count. Smith kicks and deals. Winningham swings. Ripped through the middle. Base hit. Gant retrieves it and fires it back in. Winningham lined a single up the middle. Catcher, Joe Oliver. Quick throw to first. Winningham took off. They have him picked off. Bell throws to Belliard. Belliard tags Winningham for the out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 1.5. Cincinnati 0, Atlanta 0. Winningham picked off first, 3 out. Second baseman, Jeff Treadway. Treadway will lead off the inning. 294 against right-handers. The first pitch to Treadway. Swing and a miss. Had a good cut and missed. Strike 1. 0 balls, 1 strike. Gross pitches to Treadway. Fastball. Treadway rips a deep fly ball down the right field line. Looking. Chasing back is O'Neill. Foul ball. Gross looking for the sign from Oliver. 0 balls, 2 strikes. Split finger. Not even close to the plate. Ball 1. Gross gets the sign. 1-2 count. Fastball. Treadway swings. And misses. Gross gets the strikeout. Treadway struck out, 1 out. First baseman, Mike Bell. Bell steps in against Gross. The first pitch to Bell. Breaking ball. High and away. Ball 1. Gross gets the sign from Oliver. 1-0 from Kip Gross. Fastball. Bell swings. Fly to right center. Winningham drifts to his left. He's under it. And he makes the catch. Bell fly to right center, 2 out. Catcher, Greg Olson. The catcher, Olson, steps in. The first pitch from Gross. Breaking ball. Checks his swing. It's in there for a strike. Strike 1. 0-1 count. The offering from Gross. Breaking ball. Across the knees. Strike 2. Oh, 2 count. Gross kicks and throws. Fastball. Hot. Ball 1. 1-2 from Gross. Swing and a miss. Gross gets the strikeout. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 2 complete. Cincinnati 0, Atlanta 0. Olson struck out, 3 out. Oliver will start the inning. Hitting .248 on the year. 11 home runs and 25 RBIs on the season. Gross is in the on-deck circle. The first pitch from Smith. Curveball. Oliver cuts. And misses. Strike 1. Smith takes the sign from Olson. 0-1 count. Here it comes. Low and inside. Ball 1. Smith toes the rubber. 1-1 count. Oliver hits a shallow fly ball down the left field line. Sanders coming in. He camps under it and catches it, and Oliver is retired. Oliver flied shallow down left field line, 1 out. Pitcher, Kip, Gross. Gross now at the plate. Doran is on deck. Smith with the first pitch. Gross swings. And misses. Strike 1. Smith sets. 0-1 count. High and inside. Ball 1. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch from Smith. Ball away. Ball 2. 2-1 count. Just catches the outside corner. Strike 2. 2-2 from Smith. Curveball. Just below the belt. Not what he was looking for. Smith gets the strikeout. Gross struck out, 2 out. Second baseman, Bill Doran. Doran steps in against Smith. Doran lined to first in the first. Smith with the first pitch. Doran hits a weak fly ball to left. Sanders is under it. And he makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 2.5. Cincinnati 0, Atlanta 0. Doran fly to shallow left, 3 out. Shortstop, Rafael Belliard. Belliard will bat first this inning. .281 average on the season. The first pitch to Belliard. Late called strike. Strike 1. Gross with the 0-1. High and inside. Ball 1. The 1-1 offering from Gross. In at the knees. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Belliard hits a line drive to right center. Winningham is racing for it. He takes it on a bounce. Belliard takes a look at second. He's going for 2. Here comes the throw from Winningham. Belliard slides. Safe. Double. Belliard doubled to right center. Pitcher, Pete Smith. The pitcher, Smith, steps in. Runner on second. Corners up. Fastball. Smith to bunt. Bunted. To first. Morris has it. Morris will tag Smith for the out. Belliard advances to third. Smith bunted out to first, Belliard to third, sacrifice, 1 out. Right fielder, Otis Nixon. The right fielder, Nixon, steps in. Runner on third. Gross with the first pitch. Nixon swings. He hits a ground ball between third and short. That's a base hit. Belliard scores. Hatcher fires it back in. Nixon grounded a single between third and short. Belliard scored. Atlanta 1, Cincinnati 0. Left fielder, Deion Sanders. Sanders comes up against Gross. Man on first. Gross checks first. First pitch from Gross. The heater. Just missed inside. Ball 1. Gross keeps the runner at first close. 1-0 count. The pitch to Sanders. Fastball. Sanders swings. And misses. Strike 1. Gross takes the sign from Oliver. 1-1 count. Off the plate inside. Ball 2. The 2-1 from Gross. Breaking ball. Nixon is trying for second. Called strike. No throw from Oliver. Nixon gets number 41. Nixon stole second. Two count. Fastball. Nixon is trying for third. The pitch is a strike. Strikeout. Oliver guns to third. Out. Double play. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. After 3. Atlanta 1, Cincinnati 0. Sanders struck out, Nixon caught stealing third, 3 out. Left fielder, Billy Hatcher. Hatcher will get this inning started. Larkin is on deck. Smith sets. The first pitch to Hatcher. Curve. High and outside. Ball 1. The 1-0 offering from Smith. Curve ball. Low and away. Ball 2. Smith looking for the sign from Olsen. Smith with the 2-0. Hatcher swings. And misses. Strike 1. Smith with the 2-1. Strike 2 called. The count is even, 2-2. Breaking ball. In there, at the knees. Not what he was looking for. Strikeout. Hatcher struck out, 1 out. Shortstop, Barry, Larkin. Larkin now in the batter's box. Infield in at the corners. First offering from Smith. Inside corner. Strike 1. 0 balls, 1 strike. Larkin swings. Fly ball to left. Easy fly ball. Sanders is under it and makes his 5th put out of the game. Larkin fly to left, 2 out. Right fielder, Paul O'Neill. O'Neill comes up against Smith. O'Neill struck out his last trip. The first pitch to O'Neill. Way outside and hot. Ball 1. Smith with the 1-0. Cut on and missed. Strike 1. The count is even, 1-1. Split finger. O'Neill hits a liner down the right field line. This one is well hit. Foul ball. Smith with the 1-2. O'Neill swings. Lined down the first base line. Foul. 1-2 count. The pitch. O'Neill swings. And misses. Strikeout. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 3.5. Atlanta 1, Cincinnati 0. O'Neill struck out, 3 out. Third baseman, Terry Pendleton. Pendleton will lead off the inning. The first pitch to Pendleton. Fastball. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Zero balls, 1 strike. Pendleton swings. Well hit grounder between first and second. Base hit. O'Neill tosses it back in. Pendleton grounded a single between first and second. Center fielder, Ron Gant. Gant now up at the plate. Runner on first. Gross toes the rubber. The first pitch to Gant. Strike 1 called. The 0-1 pitch. Pendleton can't get a big lead. Strike 2 called. 0-2 count. Pendleton is going for second. The pitch is a ball. Oliver fires down to second. He's in there easily. 5 on the season for Pendleton. 1-2 count. Fastball. Gant gets a piece of it. Slow grounder down the third base line. Sabo to his right. Backhands it behind the bag. He looks the runner back to second. To Morris at first for the out. Gant grounded to third, 1 out. Second baseman, Jeff Treadway. The second baseman, Treadway steps in. Runner on second. The first pitch to Treadway. Fastball. Low and just inside. Treadway checks his swing. Ump says he held up. Ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch to Treadway. Cutter. Too high. Ball 2. 2-0 from Gross. Curveball. Strike 1 called. Gross is ready. 2 balls, 1 strike. The pitch. Treadway hits a grounder to first. Morris gloves it. He'll keep it himself. Pendleton moves to third. Treadway grounded to first, Pendleton to third, 2 out. First baseman, Mike Bell. Bell now batting. Man on third. Gross with the first pitch. Bell cuts. Fouled back. Bell may have broken his bat. He's satisfied it's okay. 0-1 from Gross. Wide of the plate. Ball 1. The 1-1 offering from Gross. Down and in. Ball 2. 2-1 count. Missed away. Ball 3. Gross is ready. 3 balls, 1 strike. Gross kicks and throws. Bell swings. And comes up empty. Strike 2. Gross sets. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch to Bell. Fastball. Bell swings. Fouled back. Gross gets the sign from Oliver. The payoff pitch from Gross. Gross kicks and throws. Bell swings. Smashed on the ground down the first base line. That's foul. Gross stares in. Count is full. Here's the pitch from Gross. Bell swings. Foul ball. 3-2 from Gross. Bell hits one in the air to left center. Hatcher giving chase. He's under it. And he makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 4 complete. Atlanta 1, Cincinnati 0. Bell fly to left center, 3 out. First baseman, Hal Morris. Morris will lead off the inning. First pitch from Smith. Fastball. Almost hit him. Ball 1. Smith stares in. Smith with the 1-0. Morris cuts. He got a piece of it. Foul ball. The count is even, 1-1. The pitch from Smith. Ball. Ball 2. 2-1 count. Ball 3. 3-1 count. Morris rips a deep fly ball towards right center. Nixon backing up. He's under it. And he makes the catch to retire Morris. Morris fly to deep right center, 1 out. Third baseman, Chris, Sabo. Sabo steps in against Smith. Smith with the first pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. 0-1 count. Missed away. Ball 1. Smith with the 1-1. Low and outside. Ball 2. Smith with the 2-1. Sabo swings. 1 hop to Belliard. To Bell at first for the out. Sabo grounded to short, 2 out. Center fielder, Herm, Winningham. Winningham steps in against Smith. First pitch from Smith. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Smith is ready. 0-1 count. The pitch to Winningham. He rips. It's lashed down the line at first. Out of play. Smith takes the sign from Olsen. The 0-2 from Smith. Just hot. Ball 1. 1-2 from Smith. Fastball. In tight. Ball 2. 2-2 count. The pitch from Smith. Fastball. Strike 3 called. Retiring the side. Nothing across in the top of the 5th. After 4.5. Atlanta 1, Cincinnati 0. Winningham struck out, 3 out. Catcher, Greg Olsen. Olsen will lead off the inning. Gross gets the sign from Oliver. First pitch from Gross. Low and outside the zone. Ball 1. 1 ball, 0 strikes. The pitch to Olsen. Olsen hits a liner. Down the right field line. In play. That'll get to the wall. Olsen rounds second. It's bouncing around out there. And holds. Olsen doubled off the wall down the right field line. Shortstop, Rafael Belliard. Belliard steps in. Belliard doubled and scored in the 3rd. Smith is on deck. Man on second. Gross gets the sign from Oliver. Gross with the first pitch. Fastball. Strike 1 called. 0-1 count. Cutter. Ball in tight. Ball 1. Gross with the 1-1. Belliard swings. He lines a single towards center. Winningham retrieves it and tosses it back in. Belliard lined a single to center, Olsen to 3rd. Pitcher, P. Smith. Smith against Gross. Nixon is up next. Runners on 1st and 3rd. Infield in at the corners. Smith to bunt. Bunted on the ground. Left side. Foul ball. Gross sets. Smith squares to bunt. He gets it down. Right side. Morris comes in for it. Has it. He throws to Gross covering. In there. Belliard goes to second. That will be a base hit for Smith. Smith bunted for a single, Belliard to second. Right fielder, Otis, Nixon. Nixon steps in against Gross. Bases loaded. Gross with the first pitch. Fastball. It catches the inside edge. Strike one. 0-1 count. High and away. Ball one. 1-1 from Gross. Missed high. Ball two. Gross in a jam. 2-1 count. Fastball. Nixon hits a ground ball down the third base line. Sabo dives to his right. Fields it. Throws to second for one. There will be no throw to first. Olsen scores. Nixon grounded to third, forcing Smith at second. Olsen scored. Belliard to third. 1 out. Atlanta 2 Cincinnati 0. Left fielder, Deion Sanders. Sanders steps in against Gross. He's hitting .316 with runners in scoring position. Pendleton is on deck. Runners on first and third. Gross checks the runner at first. He's ready. Gross with the first pitch. Chin music. Ball one. 1 ball, 0 strikes. Gross fires. Fastball. Sanders rips. And comes up empty. Strike one. Gross checks the runners. 1-1 count. The pitch to Sanders. Nixon is trying for second. Ball. Oliver fires down to second. He's in there easily. 42 steals for Nixon. Nixon stole second. (2-1) from Kip Gross. In there, below the belt. Strike two. 2-2 from Gross. Sanders hits a ground ball between first and second. Doran to his left. Fields it. Belliard is heading for home. Doran fires to first for out number 2. Belliard scores. Nixon goes to third. Sanders grounded to second, Belliard scored, Nixon to third, 2 out, Atlanta 3 Cincinnati 0. Third baseman, Terry, Pendleton. Pendleton to face Gross. 2 for 2 in the ball game. Runner on third. The first pitch to Pendleton. He cuts. Popped up. Down the line at third. Out of play. Gross with the 0-1. Low. Ball 1. Gross with the 1-1. Curve. On the outside half of the plate. Strike 2. 1-2 count. Fastball. Pendleton swings. Slow roller down the first base line. Foul ball. Gross with the 1-2. Fastball. Pendleton swings. Popped up. Behind home plate. Foul territory. Out of play. Gross gets the sign. The 1-2 offering from Gross. Pendleton swings. Grounder to Sabo at third. The throw to first to retire the side. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. After 5 complete. Atlanta 3, Cincinnati 0. Pendleton grounded to third, 3 out. Catcher, Joe, Oliver. Oliver will start the inning. Oliver flied to left last at bat. Smith gets the sign from Olsen. The first delivery to Oliver. He swings. He got a piece of it. Foul ball. Strike 1. Smith with the 0-1. Oliver swings. And misses. Strike 2. Smith with the 0-2. Fastball. Swing and a miss. Smith gets the punch out. Oliver struck out, 1 out. Pitcher, Kip, Gross. Gross now batting. The first pitch to Gross. Fastball. On the inside corner at the knees. Strike 1. 0-1 count. Smith delivers. Gross hits a ground ball down the third base line. It's a foul ball. 0-2 count. Smith kicks and delivers. Fastball. Just inside. Ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch from Smith. High and away. Ball 2. The count is even, 2-2. Gross rips. Fly deep down the right field line. Nixon backing up. Foul ball. Smith stares in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Smith fires to Gross. Fastball. Low and outside. Ball 3. Smith toes the rubber. 3-2 count. Fastball. Gross hits a ground ball down the first base line. It's a foul ball. 3-2 count. Curveball. High and away. And Gross draws the walk. Gross walked. Second baseman, Bill Doran. Doran steps in against Smith. Doran flied out to left in the third. Man on first. Smith with the first pitch. Doran swings. And misses. Strike one. 0-1 count. Smith offers. High and outside. Ball one. 1-1 count. Low and away. Ball two. Smith with the 2-1. High and tight. Ball three. 3-1 count. Cutter. Smith balked. Gross to second. Balk. Gross to second. Smith with the 3-1. Fastball. Up and outside. He walked. Marvin Freeman is now pitching for Atlanta, making his 27th appearance of the season. Doran walked. Pitching for Atlanta, Marvin Freeman. Left fielder, Billy Hatcher. Marvin Freeman now pitching. Appearance number 27 on the season. He's 3-2 with a .315 earned run average. The left fielder, Hatcher, steps in. Larkin is on deck. Runners on first and second. The first pitch to Hatcher. Off the plate outside. Ball one. 1-0 count. Fastball. Lunged at it and missed. Strike one. Freeman toes the rubber. Freeman with the 1-1. Hatcher hits a blooper to right. Base hit. Doran to second. Gross rounds third. And holds. Hatcher singled to right, Gross to third, Doran to second. Shortstop, Barry, Larkin. Larkin comes up against Freeman. He's 0 for 4. With the bases loaded. O'Neill is on deck. Bases loaded. Freeman sets. Freeman with the first pitch. Low. Ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. The delivery from Freeman. Split finger. Larkin cuts. He got a piece of it. Foul ball. Freeman is set. 1 ball, 1 strike. Freeman kicks and throws. Curveball. Larkin cuts. And misses. Strike 2. Freeman is ready. Freeman with the 1-2. Fastball. Ball hot. Ball 2. Two count. Hammered down the right field line. Fair. That will go for extra bases. All the way into the corner. Gross scores. Doran scores. Hatcher rounds third. Hatcher holds up at third. Larkin with a double. Larkin doubled off the wall down the right field line. Gross scored. Doran scored. Hatcher to third. Atlanta 3, Cincinnati 2. Right fielder, Paul O'Neill. O'Neill digs in against Freeman. 2 runners in scoring position. The first pitch to O'Neill. Change. Outside. Ball 1. Freeman with the 1-0. Cutter. Ball 2. 2-0 count. Fastball. O'Neill gets the bat on it. Here's a grounder between first and second. Base hit. Hatcher scores. Larkin rounds third. And holds. O'Neill grounded a single between first and second. Hatcher scored. Larkin to third. Cincinnati 3 Atlanta 3. First baseman, Hal Morris. Morris comes up against Freeman. 375 with 2 homers with runners in scoring position. Runners on the corners. Freeman stares in. The first pitch to Morris. Fastball. Swings and misses. Strike 1. Freeman throws to first. O'Neill is safe on a close call. The righty looking for the sign from Olsen. The 0-1 offering from Freeman. Fastball. Low and outside. Ball 1. Freeman is in a jam. Freeman with the 1-1. Inside. Ball 2. Freeman keeps an eye on the runner at first. 2-1 count. The pitch to Morris. Cutter. O'Neill is going for second. Morris swings. Line shot up the middle. Base hit. Larkin scores. O'Neill to second. He's going for third. Gant won't even bother throwing. O'Neill goes to third. Single. Morris lined a single up the middle. Larkin scored. O'Neill to third. Cincinnati 4 Atlanta 3. Third baseman, Chris Sabo. Sabo at the plate. Men on first and third. The first pitch to Sabo. Breaking ball. High and tight. Ball 1. Freeman looks to first. Freeman with the 1-0. Lunged at it and missed. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fastball. Sabo pops it up. To third. Way up in the air. Into foul territory. Near the dugout. Pendleton reaches in. And puts it away. Sabo popped to third, 2 out. Center fielder, Herm Winningham. Olsen wants to talk with Freeman. Winningham steps in against Freeman. Hitting 1. With 2 out and runners in scoring position. Runners on first and third. The first pitch to Winningham. Fastball. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Freeman keeps the runners close. The 0-1 pitch. Morris is going for second. He has a good jump. The pitch is a ball. Olsen fires to second. Safe. That's 6 for Morris on the year. Morris stole second. Freeman stares in. 1-1 from Freeman. Change up. Just off the ground and inside. Ball 2. Freeman with the 2-1. Fastball. Ball 3. 3-1 count. Curveball. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Fastball. Almost hit him. Winningham draws the walk. Winningham walked. Catcher, Joe Oliver. Oliver steps in against Freeman. Oliver struck out earlier this inning. Bases loaded. Freeman with the first pitch. Fastball. Late called strike. Strike 1. Freeman is in a jam. 0-1 from Marvin Freeman. Curveball. Ball outside. Ball 1. Freeman is ready. 1-1 from Freeman. It bounces in the dirt. Wild pitch. O'Neill scores. Morris to third. Winningham to second. Wild pitch, O'Neill scored, Morris to third, Winningham to second, Cincinnati 5 Atlanta 3. Freeman gets the sign from Olsen. 2-1 count. Took strike 2. 2-2 count. The pitch from Freeman. Oliver swings. Tips it. Foul ball. 2-2 count. Freeman fires. Oliver swings. And misses. Strikeout. 5 runs, 4 hits, no errors. After 5.5. Cincinnati 5, Atlanta 3. Oliver struck out, 3 out. Center fielder, Ron Gant. Gant will lead off the inning. The first pitch to Gant. Curve. Gant swings. And misses. Strike 1. Gross gets the sign. Gross with the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 0-2 count. Gross kicks and throws. Curve. Gant hits a deep fly ball towards left. Chasing back is Hatcher. He's under it. And he puts it away. Gant fly to deep left, 1 out. Second baseman, Jeff Treadway. The second baseman, Treadway steps in. Gross with the first pitch. Treadway swings. Hammered down the left field line. That's a well-hit ball. Foul ball. Oh, 1 count. The pitch to Treadway. Fastball. Treadway swings. Fouled away. Gross takes the sign from Oliver. 0-2 count. Treadway cuts. It's looped to left center. Hatcher on his horse. It drops in. That's a base hit. Hatcher fields it and fires it back in. Treadway singled to left center. First baseman, Mike Bell. Tommy Gregg is now batting for Atlanta. Pinch hit. Greg will pinch hit. He's hitting 158 as a pinch hitter. Runner on first. Gross is set. Gross with the first pitch. High and inside. Ball 1. 1-0 from Kip Gross. Way outside. Ball 2. 2-0 count. Low and inside. Ball 3. Gross with the 3-0. High. Gross issues the base on balls. Treadway to second. Oliver didn't agree with that call. Greg walked, Treadway to second. Catcher, Greg, Olson. Olson steps in against Gross. Olson doubled and scored in the 5th. Runners on first and second. Gross with the first pitch. Olson swings. And misses. Strike 1. Gross with the 0-1. Missed high and inside. Ball 1. Gross is ready. 1-1 count. High and tight. It almost hit him. Wild pitch. Treadway to third. Greg to second. Wild pitch, Treadway to third, Greg to second. Gross gets the sign from Oliver. 2-1 count. Gross kicks and delivers. Curveball. Just low. Oliver can't come up with it. Passed ball. Treadway scores. Greg to third. Passed ball, Treadway scored, Greg to third, Cincinnati 5 Atlanta 4. Three-one count. Change. Olson cuts. Fouled off. Gross is set. The payoff pitch. Olson hits a ground ball to first. Fielded by Morris. Greg is trying for home. He'll take it to first himself. Greg scores. Olson grounded to first, Greg scored, 2 out, Cincinnati 5 Atlanta 5. Shortstop, Rafael Belliard. Belliard at the plate. 2 for 2 in the ball game. Belliard singled and scored in the 5th. Freeman is on deck if he reaches base. Gross with the first pitch. Split finger. High and away. Ball 1. Gross with the 1-0. Inside. Ball 2. Two-oh count. Gross deals. Change up. Strike 1 called. The 2-1 offering from Gross. Slow grounder. Between third and short. Sabo goes to his left. Has it? To first. Low throw. Morris can't scoop it. And it's out of play. Belliard ends up at second. Belliard grounded to third, safe on throwing error, Belliard to second. Pitcher, Marvin Freeman. Mark Lemke is now batting for Atlanta. Pinch hit, Lemke steps into pinch hit. He's batting .273 as a pinch hitter. Runner on second. Gross with the first pitch. Fastball. Strike one called. 0 balls, 1 strike. Strike two called. Gross looking into Oliver. 0-2 count. Missed in tight. Ball 1. Gross looking into Oliver. 1-2 count. The delivery from Gross. Ball. Ball 2. Gross gets the sign. Gross with the 2-2. Lemke hits a deep fly ball down the right field line. It's got a chance to go. O'Neill backpedaling. At the wall. Home run. Lemke gets number 2. A 333-foot blast. Lemke hit a 2-run homer down the right field line, 333 feet, Atlanta 7 Cincinnati 5. Right fielder, Otis Nixon. Nixon steps in against Gross. Curve. Nixon to lay one down. Swing and a miss. Strike one. 0-1 count. Hot. Ball 1. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Split finger. Cut on and missed. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fastball. Nixon gets the bat on it. Weak ground ball to second. Doran throws to first. Bad throw. And it's into the dugout. Nixon ends up at second. Nixon grounded to second, safe on throwing error, Nixon to second. Left fielder, Deion Sanders. Sanders steps in against Gross. Runner on second. First pitch from Gross. Fastball. Strike one called. Gross with the 0-1. Low and outside. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gross pitches to Sanders. Just hot. Ball 2. 2-1 count. Fastball. High and in. Ball 3. Gross with the 3-1. Fastball. In off the plate. He'll take his base. Sanders walked. Third baseman, Terry Pendleton. Oliver out to visit Gross. Pendleton steps in against Gross. Gant is on deck if he reaches safely. Runners on first and second. The first pitch to Pendleton. On the inside corner at the knees. Strike one. Gross with the 0-1. Fastball. Pendleton hits a deep fly ball to left center. Winningham drifting back. He's waiting. And makes the catch. 4 runs, 2 hits, 2 errors. We've played 6 complete. Atlanta 7, Cincinnati 5. Mike Stanton is now pitching for Atlanta, making his 35th appearance of the season. Pendleton fly to deep left center, 3 out. Pitching for Atlanta, Mike Stanton. Pitcher, Kip Gross. Chris Jones is now batting for Cincinnati. Pinch hit, Mike Stanton now takes the mound. Appearance number 35 on the season. Jones steps into pinch hit. He's 7 for 19 as a pinch hitter. Doran is on deck. The first pitch to Jones. Fastball. In at the knees. Strike one. Stanton with the 0-1. High and outside. Ball 1. 1-1 count. Fastball. High and outside. Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Out wide. Ball 3. Stanton with the 3-1. Jones swings. Here's a deep fly toward right center. Gant drifts to his left. Racing back. On the warning track. He's waiting. And he puts it away for the out. Jones fly to deep right center, 1 out. Second baseman, Bill Doran. Doran comes up against Stanton. Doran walked and scored in the 6th. Stanton sets. Stanton with the first pitch. In too close. Ball 1. 1-0 from Stanton. In there, at the knees. Strike 1. 1-1 count. On the inside part of the plate. Strike 2. Stanton looking for the sign from Olsen. Stanton with the 1-2. That's outside. Ball 2. The count is even, 2-2. Stanton deals. Doran swings. And misses. Stanton gets the strikeout. Doran struck out, 2 out. Left fielder, Billy Hatcher. Hatcher to face Stanton. Hatcher struck out in the 4th. And singled and scored in the 6th. First pitch from Stanton. Outside. Ball 1. The 1-0 from Stanton. inside. Ball 2. 2-0 count. Just catches the outside corner. Strike 1. Stanton looking into Olsen. 2-1 count. Fastball. Strike 2 called. The 2-2 offering from Stanton. Breaking ball. Hatcher swings. Popped up. Straight back. Olsen giving chase. Foul ball. Stanton with the 2-2. Fastball. Hatcher swings. He hits a grounder back up the middle. Treadway goes to his right. Fields it. Throws to first to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 6.5. Atlanta 7, Cincinnati 5. Hatcher grounded to second, 3 out. Center fielder, Ron Gant. Tim Leona is now pitching for Cincinnati, making his 9th appearance of the season. Tim Leona now pitching. Appearance number 9 on the season. He's 0-0 with a 0.00 earned run average. Gant will lead off the inning. 0 for 3 today. The first pitch to Gant. Fastball. Almost in the dirt. Ball 1. 1 ball, 0 strikes. Leona kicks and throws. Fastball. Chased a pitch out of the zone. Strike 1. Leona with the 1-1. Curveball. Low, barely. Ball 2. 2-1 count. Leona deals. Gant drives a deep fly ball down the left field line. Foul territory. Hatcher backpedaling. On the warning track. He's under it. And he makes the catch. 1 out. Gant fly deep down the left field line, 1 out. Second baseman, Jeff Treadway. Treadway comes up against Leona. Treadway singled and scored in the 6th. Leona with the first pitch. Treadway checks his swing. Outside corner. Strike 1. Leona with the 0-1. Fastball. Missed high and inside. Ball 1. One ball, 1 strike. Fastball. Way outside. Ball 2. 2-1 count. The pitch from Leona. Cutter. Ball 3. Leona is ready. 3-1 count. It's grounded between third and short. Larkin goes to his right. Backhand. To Morris at first for the out. Treadway grounded to short, 2 out. First baseman, Tommy, Greg. Greg steps in. Greg drew a walk and scored his last trip. Leona with the first pitch. High and just inside. Ball 1. Leona with the 1-0. Greg swings. He got a piece of it. Foul ball. Strike 1. 1-1 count. Greg swings. And misses. Strike 2. 1-2 count. The offering from Leona. Greg swings. Blasted towards right center. Winningham on the run. He cuts it off. Greg takes a look at second. He's going for 2. Winningham's throw. Greg slides. Safe. Double. Greg doubled to right center. Catcher, Greg, Olson. The catcher, Olson steps in. Runner on second. Leona with the first pitch. Fastball. Way outside and low. Ball 1. Leona with the 1-0. Olson swings. Fouled back. Leona with the 1-1. Olson cuts. Fouled out of play. Leona with the 1-2. Fastball. Ball 2. 2-2 count. Leona works. Fastball. Olson cuts. It's a pop-up. Behind third. Savo chasing it. Out of play. Leona gets the sign from Oliver. 2-2 count. Taken right down the pike. Fooled on that pitch. Leona gets the strikeout. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 7 are in the books. Atlanta 7, Cincinnati 5. Juan Berenger is now pitching for Atlanta, making his 27th appearance of the season. Olson struck out, 3 out. Pitching for Atlanta, Juan Berenger. Shortstop, Barry, Larkin. Juan Berenger now pitching. Appearance number 27 on the season. He's 0-1 with a 144 earned run average. Larkin will bat first this inning. Larkin drove in 2 with a double and scored in the 6th. Berenger with the first pitch. High and outside. Ball 1. Berenger gets the sign from Olson. Berenger with the 1-0. Cutter. Up at eye level and inside. Ball 2. Larkin tries to bunt. Bunted on the ground in front of home plate. Olsen barehands it. He throws to Treadway covering. Out. Larkin bunted to the catcher, 1 out. Right fielder, Paul O'Neill. O'Neill digs in against Berenger. O'Neill knocked in a run with a single and scored in the 6th. First pitch from Berenger. In there, below the belt. Strike 1. Berenger with the 0-1. Curveball. Missed in tight. Ball 1. Berenger with the 1-1. O'Neill hits a grounder down the line at first. Foul. 1-2 count. Curveball. Inside. Ball 2. 2-2 from Berenger. Cutter. O'Neill swings. And misses. Berenger gets the strikeout. O'Neill has whipped 3 times today. O'Neill struck out, 2 out. First baseman, Hal Morris. Morris now batting. Morris knocked in a run with a single last time. The first pitch to Morris. Inside corner. Strike 1. Berenger sets. 0-1 count. Morris hits one in the air down the right field line. Looking. Nixon giving chase. Out of play. The 0-2 from Berenger. Ball upstairs. Ball 1. The 1-2 from Berenger. Just off the ground. Ball 2. Berenger with the 2-2. Change. Morris cuts. Fouled back. 2-2 count. Here's the pitch from Berenger. Split finger. Morris gets some wood on it. Grounded hugging the third base line. Pendleton to his right. Backhands it behind the bag. Long toss to first. Out. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 7.5. Atlanta 7, Cincinnati 5. Morris grounded to third, 3 out. Shortstop, Rafael Belliard. Ted Power is now pitching for Cincinnati, making his 40th appearance of the season. Ted Power now pitching. Appearance 40 on the year. Belliard will start the inning. Belliard doubled and scored in the 3rd. Singled and scored in the 5th. And reached on an error and scored in the 6th. The first delivery from Power. Low and way inside. Ball 1. 1-0 count. Power kicks and throws. Cutter. Caught the outside corner. Strike 1. 1-1 count. Took strike 2. One 2 count. Ball inside. Ball 2. 2-2 count. Power kicks and delivers. Change. Belliard swings. And misses. Power rings him up. Belliard struck out, 1 out. Left fielder, Lonnie Smith. The left fielder, Smith steps in. Power sets. The first delivery from Power. High and inside. Ball 1. 1-0 count. Up high. Ball 2. 2 balls, 0 strikes. Outside corner. Strike 1. The righty toes the rubber. 2-1 count. Curveball. Smith hits a deep fly ball to right center. O'Neill drifting back. The trap. He's under it. And makes the catch for the out. Smith fly to deep right center, 2 out. Right fielder, Otis Nixon. The right fielder, Nixon steps in. First pitch from Power. Fastball. Inside. Ball 1. One 0 count. The pitch to Nixon. Ball 2. The 2-0 offering from Power. Nixon rips. High chopper back to the mound. Power up with it and throws to first to retire the side. Nothing across in the bottom of the 8th. After 8 complete. Atlanta 7, Cincinnati 5. Nixon grounded to the pitcher, 3 out. Third baseman, Chris Savo. Savo will lead off the inning. First offering from Berenger. Fastball. High and inside. Ball 1. 1-0 count. Here's the delivery from Berenger. Savo chases it. He got a piece of it. Foul ball. Berenger is ready. Berenger with the 1-1. Ball 2. Berenger with the 2-1. Fastball. Savo swings. Slapped on the ground up the middle. Belliard goes to his left. Fields it. Throws to first to retire Savo. Savo grounded to short, 1 out. Center fielder, Herm Winningham. The center fielder, Winningham steps in. Winningham struck out in the 5th. And walked last time up. The first pitch to Winningham. Cutter. Winningham hits a rope down the first base line. Out of play. 0 balls, 1 strike. The offering from Berenger. Curveball. Just inside. Ball 1. One count. Cutter. Ball 2. 2-1 count. Fastball. Winningham swings. And misses. Strike 2. The 2-2 offering from Berenger. Curve. Low and away. Ball 3. 3-2 count. The pitch from Berenger. Fastball. Winningham grounds a single between third and short. Smith fires it back in. Winningham grounded a single between third and short. Catcher, Joe Oliver. Oliver steps in against Berenger. 2:15 against right-handers. Power is on deck. Runner on first. The first pitch to Oliver. Oliver hits a deep fly ball down the left field line. Way back. Smith backing up. Near the wall. It bounces off the wall. Winningham rounds third. He's going for home. There won't be a throw from Smith. Winningham scores. Oliver with a double. Oliver doubled off the wall down the left field line. Winningham scored. Atlanta 7, Cincinnati 6. Pitcher, Ted Power. Mariano Duncan is now batting for Cincinnati. Pinch hit. Duncan steps into pinch hit. He's 5 for 14 with 2 homers pinch hitting. Man on second. First pitch from Berenger. Curveball. Inside corner. Strike 1. 0-1 count. The pitch from Berenger. Curveball. Duncan swings. Deep fly ball towards left center. Gant backpedaling. He camps under it. And he makes the grab. Oliver holds up at second. Duncan fly to deep left center, 2 out. Second baseman, Bill Doran. Doran steps in against Berenger. Man on second. First pitch from Berenger. Fastball. Doran swings. And misses. Strike 1. 0-1 count. Berenger works. Doran swings. It's a pop-up. Straight back. Souvenir. 0-2 count. Down and tight. Ball 1. 1-2 count. The pitch to Doran. Just missed outside. Ball 2. Berenger with the 2-2. Doran cuts. He hits a lazy fly ball. To left. Very playable. Smith gets under it. And makes the catch for out number 3. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. That's it. Atlanta 7, Cincinnati 6. The final score from Fulton County Stadium, Atlanta 7, Cincinnati 6. Atlanta has won 5 in a row, Cincinnati has lost 7 straight. Marvin Freeman is the winner, he is now 4-2, Kip Gross picks up the loss, he is now 0-3 on the season. Juan Berenger gets the save, number 15, Mark Lemke hit home run number 2 on the season. Time of the game, 3 hours, 23 minutes.
Action. Ops.